Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. This is part of a mini-series on websites, helping small business owners know when it's time to build a site, if they should build a site, how much of a site they should have, different key elements. These are designed to give you quick insights so that you can gain a ton of knowledge and understand the important elements of web design so that you can have a better site, so that your website can help you find more customers so you can be more profitable. Let's dive in. Today, we're talking all about when it's time to redesign a website or not. Now, many business owners have a website for their business. Some business owners that I've talked to have had a website for years. One company I was talking to recently, they'd had the same website for like 15 years almost. They just made a couple of changes over that period of time. Other website owners that I've talked to, there's one business owner in particular that comes right to mind. He told me, every 3 years I want a new website. That's the way I think it should be done. That's the way I'm going to do it. And just like clockwork, that is his idea of how often a website should be redesigned. Now, I don't think that there's one hard and fast rule that's going to tell you if you need to redesign your site, but there are a few factors that can play together to help you know it's time to have your website updated. Now, in the world of AI blossoming, and when this video is being filmed, AI is still a newer element, newer tool, newer kid on the block. A lot of businesses are getting duped by this idea of needing an AI-friendly site. And I've heard of different people going out and spending a ton of money trying to figure out how to get their site AI-friendly. Now, that's a shiny object, and shiny objects oftentimes will come in and just steal a bunch of money from the business owner, and the business owner thinks they're doing something great, but because they don't have the right information and they don't know the right questions to ask, maybe they're just kind of tossing money at something hoping it's going to be a silver bullet. If you've ever fallen victim to one of those before, this video is designed to also help you avoid those in the future. So I mentioned AI because there's different tools out there that people are using to make websites, either make them with AI, or they're going to come in and they're going to put an AI chatbot on your website, or there's others that have a conversational bot where you can actually talk to the bot. And all of those to me are shiny objects. Business owners see that, they're like, oh wow, that's so new, that's so cool, that's so amazing, and they jump right in and spend a bunch of money, but they don't ask, how is that going to help me? What is the business objective of the website? And is these shiny objects actually going to move me towards my business objective? What is a business objective for a website? Most of the time, it's going to be educating potential customers. It's going to be helping potential customers gain trust in your business and facilitate the connection of the business owner to the business. Also, a website can help existing customers connect to the business, or it can help existing customers get information they might need as they're doing business with the website. Those are most of the time for a small business owner, the main purposes that a website's going to serve. So a conversational chat bot where you're talking to the bot and the bot's talking back to you on your website, is that going to help customers? I'm not sure. The reason for me saying I'm not sure is it's brand new in the marketplace. And right now, most people are not used to the idea of talking to a website. Most people are used to going out, doing a search, finding the page, looking around on the content of the page, and then moving on with their life. A couple years from now, we may be in a position where we are used to talking to an AI bot. But will it happen on the website, or are we going to have a personal AI assistant? The jury's still out on that one. But I can tell you, for many small business owners, they don't have enough information programmed into that bot to truly make it helpful. So my initial thought is, for that scenario in particular, it might be a pass right now. Maybe I'm dead wrong, but from everything I'm seeing, that's the direction I'd go today. Let's move on now on what to fix versus when to rebuild. Most of the time for business, they can do little adjustments to a website and they don't have to go in and redo everything. For example, if you have updated your color scheme a little bit, you may be able to go in and just change the colors on the site without doing a full website rebuild. Or maybe you've got a new logo that you want to update on the site. Most of the time you can do that without redoing everything. But there are times when it really makes sense to redo your whole site. Several years ago, the internet was changing at a very rapid pace, and people, the way that they were using the internet was changing at a rapid pace. Now, for anyone watching this video, this happened years ago and it's a little outdated, but it makes a classic example of this. That example came in as people were moving from desktop devices down to using the internet on their phones. When that was happening, there were all kinds of debate happening on, should you be able on your phone to just zoom in with your fingers and you have one site that's designed for a desktop and people can zoom in on with their fingers and find what they want? Or do you build one that's one site is for a desktop and a different site for a mobile device? Do you have a site that just collapses down and works on any size screen? And that was the option that eventually won out. But what happened in the meantime is that people were spending a ton of money on all these different solutions. And so they were in a position where, as things were changing, someone would have a website that looked really good on a desktop, but you couldn't hardly navigate it at all on a phone. That's a classic example of, hey, it's time to update that site. Time to do a redesign, time to refresh everything. If your website is outdated in the way that it's built and it doesn't feel up to speed with everything else, that's one indication it's time to get your website rebuilt. Another indication is if your website feels like the wrong era, if your website feels like it was built way old as far as the layout, the colors, the way it navigates, all of those elements, and the rest of the internet's moved on beyond you, not necessarily from a technology standpoint, but just from a design and layout standpoint. Classic example, a few years ago, a lot of people were moving from a very plain website to one that had a lot of interactive graphics on it. If your website looked really plain and boring, and everyone else has a website that's shiny and beautiful and interactive, it might be time to update so that your brand doesn't feel like it's several years back in its design. So that's the second one. So first, again, technology. Second is design. And the third one plays to your business specifically. Has your business shifted and grown, adjusted, changed? We have companies that sometimes get bought out and has a new owner come in, and the new owner says, all the stuff on the website's wrong. We're doing things this way. We've now expanded and offer these services, and we're getting rid of those services. And we've updated the color scheme, the logo, we have a new font, all these different elements. When you have change like that happening inside the business, it can make sense to let the old website kind of fade into the dust as the new one takes over and exhibits all of the characteristics and traits of the brand as it's been updated. Again, oftentimes a business can just update elements on the site, but if the technology is out of date, if the design is out of date from the industry standards, or if your business has changed, shifted, adapted, grown, changed to such a degree that the website no longer represents who the company is, those are the three key times when you should most likely go in and have a new website redesigned.